Yes, good morning. Got out of Vietnam in 1969, come back to the United States in July of 69. The Army sent me to Fort Benjamin Harrison, Indiana. There in Indiana, as after I'd been there about quite a year, I got out of the Army, met my wife there, went to work working in a lumber company called Southern Lumber. While I'm working at Southern Lumber, one day Lord spoke to me and said, move north. I knew which direction was north, but I didn't know exactly what he had in mind. But told my wife about it. She prayed about it. We agreed, and that's what we did. We moved up and came to Alaska.
When he came home and when he told me about moving north, I remember going into the bedroom and stopped praying, because I've had my job for 10 years and I was office manager, and I thought, ooh, who would do all the work I do there? And anyway, I came out, God spoke to me. He said, go with your husband. And I told him that I would go with him, but give me 1 year to get things ready and tell my boss, and so we can get everything set up. I went back to the shop the next day, told my boss, gave him 1 year notice, and he never did anything about it till 3 weeks before we got ready to leave. He did not believe that we was going to leave and go to Alaska from Indiana. But we did, and we left, and before we left, we bought this 1965 bus, converted into a motorhome, and we filled it to the top. And when we bought everything that was on sale and everything that we thought we'd need, because I got every book I could read about Alaska, and it said all snow, and everybody did it with skis, and I couldn't believe all the books I read, and it was nothing like it was when we got up here. But that was in 1973. In 1974, in April, we left. And when we left, we left my family that had been on the property ever since I was 5 years old, and I was 28 then. And so we left and we headed for Alaska, but everything was stopping us, and we wondered why. And there were storms ahead of us. And do you want to talk about the storms?
No, thanks.
Okay. There were storms ahead of us, and we was one in a Reek Lake. Well, the week before that, there were storms, and it was cities was destroyed. And so we got to his family. He had family in Idaho, and we got to Idaho, and then we finally got to Alaska after after a flat tire, and after the whole, the harness blew up. And I can remember praying when I couldn't see my husband and there was smoke in front. And I said, God, if you want us to go to Alaska, let this bus go on its own. And my husband got up underneath there, put a whole bunch of black tape all over everything, and they did call a tow truck, and it was a
1947 wrecker.
Yeah, he couldn't pull that bus if he had to, because when they changed the tires, when we had a flat tire, it took 3 jacks to jack it up. But anyway, the bus started, we went into Alaska, so we got to Alaska. And when we got to Alaska, we ended up, we didn't know to go north or to go south, because all God told us to do was move north. And there was a family that kept on, we met at the laundromat, and they kept on saying, go to Homer, go to Homer, go to Homer. And we didn't know what Homer was, but we finally ended up going down to Homer, staying on the spit for 5 weeks, and we met some people, invited us to dinner, and they said that they had been praying for a Bible school teacher. And my husband had said, well, God spoke to me, and he told me to offer myself as a Bible school teacher, and we didn't even know there was a school there. So anyway, God was working things out, telling us what to do step by step. And we seen miracle after miracle what God has done for us.